Hey, what's up, folks? This is Jesse with Keeping Real Finance, the channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. Well, I am pumped up for today's video. It is going to be all about Jasmy and the Internet of Things. So if you're into projects like VeChain, Syntropy, Jasmy kind of goes along these same lines. Fetch.ai is another one that comes to mind. Really interesting. The team behind this one is just absolutely crazy, okay? So I can see why this one's been making some big moves. It has had some huge exchange listings, and it is still at a fantastic price, okay? So this is going to be one of those gems that is time sensitive. I'm giving it to you now, and between now and the next bull run, this thing is going to explode. Absolutely. Okay, so that being said, I've got a lot of good info in today's video. We're going to be giving you a thorough review, as always, for what Jasmy is, what the Internet of Things is, right? If you don't know what that is, maybe you've seen this one listed on Coinbase or Binance. We're going to be talking all in depth about it. I'll tell you who that team is behind it and why they are so impressive. That's really important to this. And then we're going to be talking token, what's happened with the chart, where we think the chart is headed, some tokenomics, and then kind of wrapping this up with some final thoughts here around Jasmy. So I've got a ton of info in this one, lots of good stuff for you, okay? So that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if this is your first time to the channel. And if you click the bell, you'll be made aware whenever I post time-sensitive content, which is exactly what this video is. And now, let's get it going. So what is the Internet of Things? Well, it's basically all of those smart devices that we use every single day that capture our data, right? Data is important. There's a term for this, the data economy. If you think about companies like Facebook, like Google, why are they so valuable? It's because of all of the data, right? Instagram, owned by Facebook or Meta. So anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is that Internet of Things involving Jasmy, all right? Now, Jasmy is an IoT platform company on a mission to provide the infrastructure which allows anybody to use data safely and securely. Jasmy is a combination of IoT strategy and management support, IoT provided devices, we've got IoT services development, and secure data analysis through SKC, their Secure Knowledge Communicator, which is a service that consists of, so we've got KYC, which is Know Your Customer, which basically allows the owner of the IoT device to easily start using blockchain provided by Jasmy, which is then managed securely and distributed through the smartphone app, a function to accumulate. And we also have a function that allows users to transfer and trace their own data. And they have SG, their Smart Guardian, which is a service where IoT devices can be easily and securely registered in the original blockchain network, and at the same time an environment that can only be used by the owner's user. So this is a little bit different from the Facebook Google model. Users can safely send and receive sensed and measured data. It also provides an environment where data can be stored and managed, all right? Now, the simplest way to view it is that Jasmy provides the solution, module, app, and analysis all within an IoT platform to be used with IoT products. It has the technology to manage personal information as personal items. It is edge computing with blockchain, okay? So the sales pitch here is that Jasmy initiated data democracy. So that's kind of the big thing, right? What they're getting at here is that they believe in the data economy, as I mentioned earlier. With the best example of this that I can think of being Facebook, which we'll talk a little bit more about that later, where essentially all of that user data that Facebook has is very valuable. And Facebook basically captures it and then markets it for improved services. So in that scenario, though, the difference is that Facebook has the data. In this scenario, Jasmy differs because they want the data to be a personal asset similar to something like oil that you control, right? So their goal is to create an IoT platform that regains sovereignty of data to the original owner to then use it safely and securely, which will further prevent data leaks. So it comes down to building trust, where users can have ownership of their own personal data and, most importantly, individual privacy protection, all right? Now, who's the team behind Jasmy? So this is where it really gets interesting on this one, and you're going to see why. Basically, the guys behind Jasmy are basically the ones that have been running Sony for the last 20, 30 years plus. That's who's behind this thing. This is like the leadership team of Sony from Japan, all right? So first of all, we have CEO of Jasmy, Kunitake Ando, all right? Now, he was the former president and COO of Sony Corporation. He was the president and COO of Sony Engineering and Manufacturing of America. He was the chairman of Sony Financial Holdings. He was the chairman of Sony Life Insurance, and so on, okay? Now, what I really like on their site, this is pretty cool, is that each of these guys have their own little video that's like roughly 3 to 4 minutes, where they explain their backgrounds, the purpose of Jasmy, and basically what their goals are, okay? Now, in his, Kunitake Ando mentions that he has previously created 4 startups in addition to this one, right? So outside of that massive amount of experience of running one of the biggest companies on the entire planet, he's done 4 startups, and now he's doing this one. Okay. Now, we also have the president and CEO, Kazumasa Sato. So he was the president of SonyStyle.com, the executive officer of Sony Marketing Co., the president of Sony Style Company, the president of Sony Style Japan Company. You get the picture, right? And we also have mentioned on there Masanobu Yoshida. Now, his was really cool. I'll get into that in a second. So he's was the president of Sony Corp handheld computer company, Sony Ericsson Mobile Communications Co. Wow, okay? He is also the division manager for SoftBank Mobile Co., and so on. And what was really neat was in his video, he mentioned that he developed the PDA, which was the little personal assistant. So some of you who basically have been around with iPhones, this is kind of like the thing right before the iPhone, was this little tablet. It was a personal assistant, and it was the precursor to the iPhone, okay? Now, he created the Sony Klee. That was the name for it. Which I honestly, personally find hilarious because I remember buying my dad one of those for Christmas. This is the guy who made it, right? Totally amazing. So he then talks about, in his video, how the iPhone essentially changed everything, right? And that the next big change will be IoT and edge computing with the smartphone and other devices, you know, including appliances, cars, planes, you name it. Everything smart basically goes into this, all right? So, the team behind it is impeccable. I mean, this is like crazy. Normally when I'm looking at crypto projects, there's nothing like this. So just the corporate background, the ties, the business relationships, we'll be talking more about that in final thoughts, but this is huge, all right? So let's talk token, all right? Now, Jasmy Coin is the native token for Jasmy. It is an ERC20 token, meaning that it's built on the Ethereum blockchain. Today, 11/29/2021, it's just under 17 cents with a market cap of roughly $803 million, ranked number 228 in the top 500, all right? Now, out of 50 billion tokens, which are capped, only 4.75 billion are in circulation. So, the white paper makes mention that the total was capped at 50 billion. However, it says that they are adjusting the supply amount with progress of the business. So as the business progresses, depending on that, they will probably end up shrinking that amount, right? Now, of the total, 48% is for the ecosystem, 27% to fund and institutional investors, 20% for contributors and committees, and 5% for incentive. Now, they also mention that part of stimulating demand will be airdrops. So that's a good thing to know with this one. So airdrops could happen at any time, right? Now, per the roadmap on the token, they're also focusing here with this project to start with Japan, Singapore, China, Korea. Basically, the big Asian countries is where this thing is focused at, right? Now, they also mentioned this, and this is really interesting, going back to Facebook. They mentioned this in their little white paper, is that Facebook generates roughly $25 per person per year in advertising revenue. You think of how many millions, billions of users are on Facebook. A lot, right? So with IoT, they actually think that they can push that number of $25 to nearly $500. That's what they think they can do here. This is crazy. And I do have to say that in watching the videos, this is one of the things that the CEO had mentioned, Mr. Ando. He had said that, you know, part of what Japan brings to the table is a reputation for quality, because a lot of technologies and things have originated there. And he's right. So I find this really interesting that they're saying that they think it could go from $25 advertising revenue per person to nearly $500, and they think they can do it with their platform. Just mind blown, right? Now, if we insert the chart here, so Jasmy coin kicked off in roughly February, according to this chart, at $1.26. Now, when I was researching this, it looks like they listed on an exchange in Japan in January, and then I think they went to Gate.io in March. So I'm not sure why it starts in February, but that's where it starts, all right? Now, it even peaked at $4 before dropping with the famous dippity dip that came along right in the spring that kind of ruined everything. So that happened. Now, after that, it basically just sort of went off a cliff, is seen in the chart. So until September, where the volume all of a sudden started picking up, and we had some significant volume spikes. I would imagine that probably coincided with exchange listings, all right? And we'll talk about that. Now, if we insert the trading view chart now, if it stays within the trend, it finishes the year between 21 and 48 cents. In my opinion, this bull run, I think it could go well above that, especially as more people learn about it, which hopefully from this video you'll get that, right? So I know a lot of people, see these coins listed on Coinbase, they don't know what it is. And so you can watch this video and hopefully it explains that it's all about the Internet of Things platform and why data is valuable. So if you can rationalize that Facebook's valuable, Google's valuable, you can see why the Internet of Things, why a platform for that would be extremely valuable, especially when it's brought to you by the team behind Sony, all right? Now, where you can find Jasmy. So this is impressive. It is absolutely everywhere. It's on Coinbase, it's on Binance, it's on KuCoin, I mentioned Gate.io, and I do have referral links in the video description for free money bonuses. If you follow any of those, you can get yourself some free money when you sign up for those various platforms. You also help support the channel. Big thanks all around, all right? Now, for some final thoughts here. So, I can't stop thinking and talking about this team behind Jasmy. So, first of all, the business experience is absolutely just off the charts. In terms of what these guys bring to the table is extremely impressive. Then you think about all of those years and all of those leadership positions and all of the relationships that they have built across the industry. And we're not talking just, in Asia. I mean, we're talking worldwide relationships, right? We're also talking about Sony as a brand. Sony is a very good brand. People like Sony. Sony has been good for a long time, okay? So that is really impressive, all right? Now, also, we need to talk about IoT and the data economy. So this is the next step, the next wave of the future, the next huge value, right, is IoT and the data economy. So currently the values, like I said, it's in Facebook, it's in Google, excuse me, it's in Instagram, you know, anywhere where somebody captures your data and then sells it to advertisers to market to you for a more tailored experience, there is a lot of value in that data. So when you start thinking of everything smart, your car is smart, your phone is smart, your Fitbit, any kind of wearable that you've got on that's smart, travel, everything is going smart. Your refrigerator, your appliances, even your toilet's going to be going smart at some point. So all of these various things, if there's a platform that can manage all that, think of the just insane amount of value here in terms of what it brings to the consumer to give you a better experience and to not have your data leaked, right? To give you a more tailored, superior experience to what you're getting today. And then also with those businesses, you think about the value that this brings to them. It is absolutely massive. This is the way of the future. This is one of the reasons why I really liked Fetch.ai. It's along these same lines. Syntropy was another one I reviewed. This is right along, cut from that same cloth, but this one is big in Japan, all right? Something else they even mentioned was they are the very first company that has a Japanese origin that's ever been listed on Coinbase. So that's really cool, right? Just absolutely amazing. Now, think about the value that's currently in Facebook and Google and think about a multiplier for IoT, and that's where this is headed, right? So the coin is readily available all over the place. I mean, it's everywhere, so that's awesome. Now, here's for a little bit of opportunity, right? So I do think since the coin is an ERC20 token, getting it to move maybe to something like Polkadot, Nervos, Binance Smart Chain, there could be some gains there that could be had, so that's probably something maybe their team wants to look into. Adding burn events is needed. So they talked about the supply may fluctuate. I know a lot of those projects that go to the Binance Smart Chain end up doing burn events. That's pretty popular over there, right? Further business partnerships and even more exchange listings. So somebody like Voyager, for example, needs to list this one, right? If they haven't already, which I can't remember if they had or not as of this recording. Now, this post here by JTrades, shout out to you, on Twitter mentions partnerships with, we've got Sony, Nishimura, and Asahi. We've got Japan's largest call center, Transcosmos. We've got WITS, a listed company specializing in auto software system. Applix, the leading IoT company. JNA, the top AI and embedded device technology developer, and Dewabo. So there's a ton of partnerships already with it, right? Now, we also had this bullish post here from Wall Street Bets that mentioned Jasmy, all right? So they think that Jasmy is going to $15, which, honestly, I don't think I disagree with them, all right? So the bottom line here is that Jasmy is a big-time gem, and anybody can get this thing. It's all over the place, and the price right now is absolutely perfect, okay? So with that, I also would recommend that if you are on Twitter, I highly recommend following, he goes by Hera_Jasmy CFO. So here's the CFO of Jasmy. Now, the reason I recommend following him is that the Jasmy website, and a lot of it is all in Japanese. Now, you can shift it with Google Translate to, to your language. I changed it to English. As well as the videos that they posted on there, they do have subtitles, so you know what they're saying throughout. So that's good. But what I really like here with Hera Jasmy CFO is that most of his posts are all in English. They're really easy to follow, and he adds a ton of value on there. Now, outside of that, he even has displayed in his name, again, another impressive background, a background in audit and IPO with KPMG. I read that and I thought, this is the guy that needs to be working at Tether, right? So awesome. I mean, just the backgrounds of these guys are just crazy. So lots of good info on his page. Highly recommend giving him a follow. As of this recording, I think he only had 15, 16,000 followers. So definitely give him a follow, all right? So where does this leave us? Essentially, it leaves us with me really bullish on Jasmy. I think IoT is the way of the future. I think this team is second to none. Huge potential here. They're making all the right moves. The business relationships, the history, I mean, just wow. I mean, there's just so much here. The value that they see in IoT, I know they're right. They're totally right. And so, you know, shoot, 10 to 15 years from now, I mean, this thing could be an absolute Goliath of a project. So it's small now. These are the early days. This is when no one wants it, right? You look at the chart, you know, nosedive. But then you look at all those exchange listings. I mean, they're everywhere. So anybody can pick this up. Have I picked it up? Yes, I picked it up. I ended up buying some on Coinbase, on US based. I don't have the full Binance. I bought it on Coinbase. Super easy to do. You know, it's out there, folks. So anyway, if you want to know all about Jasmy, hopefully this video covered it for you. If there's anything I missed, feel free to leave it in the comments. You know, I have no problem doing updates, follow-ups, all that kind of thing. All right? So, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget that I am also on Twitter at KIR Finance, where you can find me tweeting and retweeting on a regular basis. Check me out there. Don't forget that I've also got a merch shop now. It's the KIR Finance at my spread shop. I've got the link there in my Twitter description. But anyway, you can go to that. There's shirts, hoodies, mugs, stickers, you name it, a little bit of everything. Some of the designs there, designs feature me and Jeremy, as well as my LDC Skull NFTs. Check those out, also on OpenSea right now. And for a friendly reminder, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back and tells it like it is, and I will see you on the next one. Later.